It's bloody Baltic in here, man. Absolutely freezing. I'd be worried if it wasn't cold though, because all the wines would spoil, wouldn't they? Right, sparkling wine. So you may be wondering where I am at the moment. I'm actually in the winery at Denbies, which is the UK's largest estate. I've been in the vineyard, I've been in the cellar and looked around the winery. I've had a chat with the main man, who's a ledge. I've got these wines now, so we're going to have a look at how good English sparkling wine can be, really. I can't really compare it to really expensive vintage champagne because I obviously don't drink that stuff, but I can compare it to all the champagne I've had at christenings and weddings and special occasions, all that stuff, and those were good times. So it's going to have to be good to compete with them. And I often cycle past these two. No, I've cycled past them two. That's Kent. Oh no, I have. I've been to Kent as well. So actually, all the cycling that I do in the hills seems to be around these wines. So it's quite special for me to be able to review these. If you like champagne, this is going to be class. Champagne is 3 grapes. So it's Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. So you'll get all of those grapes. You'll make a still wine. Then that's where the magic happens. It's called the Champagne-Ardenne method. And in England, they're using the same method to create quality wines. Let me think, how does it go again? Right, I think I've got it. You got your nice wine, you've blended it into the cuvee. So cuvee is just like a word for blend. Then you get a nice thick bottle. So these bottles, you've noticed, they're much thicker. Because imagine putting a really sparkling wine under high pressure in a thin bottle, it might explode. So you got your thick bottle. That's not going to explode, that's quite important. You put your wine in, the winemaker will put some yeast in, bit of sugar, give it a little shake. Probably not. Not yet. Then you get one of these little, I haven't got one, but it's a crown cap. Put the crown cap on and then all of that secondary fermentation starts to happen. So that yeast is going to start producing CO2. That's the bubbles. GCSE chemistry, you might know that. They leave it in there, in the cellar, for about 4 years or something, a bit longer sometimes. All the bubbles are in there, and there's also a lot of dead yeast, which sounds a bit weird, but it's important. So all the dead yeast gives it toasty, bready, the classic champagne flavours. So you have to have all that dead yeast, which is going to add all the flavour in. But once you finish with that dead yeast, the complicated bit is getting it out. You put it on a rack, and gradually they'll be turning the bottles up, angling them like this. Every single month or something, they'll just turn them a little bit, and then eventually all that sediment will be here. So how are you going to get it out? Well, what they do, I think Madame Cleek invented this in 1816, I believe. She worked out that if you freeze the neck of the bottle in a really cold salt solution, so it's like this, then the pressure of the CO2 will just force that little piece of ice out with all the sediment in. So then you've got a lovely wine that's got no sediment in it, a bit more wine just to top it up. Then put the cork on, and then you've got this little cage which keeps the cork from popping out, because it could put someone's eye out with that, couldn't you? So that's the Champagne-Ardenne method. So all of these wines use that method. We're going to be looking for biscuity, bready, toasty finesse in the wines. The fact that they're aged for several years, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, means that the bubbles keep dividing and dividing and dividing, so that you get this lovely fine mousse. So we always describe the texture of champagne and how the mousse sits in your mouth, which is really important. It feels nice in your mouth. It's all about the mouthfeel, isn't it? So I think I'm going to open them. This is the fun bit. Champenoise from Kent, good cycling there. Denbies, Surrey, good cycling there. And Ridgeview, good cycling there, is Sussex, right next to Ditchling Beacon, which is like a massive hill, which you need for growing vines and cycling. What should we try first? You just neck them all and then maybe you could blend them. I'll just put like a bit in the glass of each one and like mix it together and see if it's nice. I don't know how you open champagne, but I can't be bothered with all the faffing of trying to find where the cork's gone, so I just give it a little gentle one. No need to just go. Nah, it's not cool. But I suppose when you're at a party, you need the pop, don't you? So imagine I'm at somebody's party. Happy birthday. It's been a mint day. All the best. You just knew that was going to happen, didn't you? Well, it's a good job I've got this. So that could happen at a birthday party. I didn't mean to do that, just gently. Ooh, that made a nice little pop. Right, no more spillages. Champenoise from Kent. Champenoise makes only world-class wine from grapes grown in vineyards across the southeast of England. Here, the geology and climate combine to provide the perfect terroir for cool climate wines. Chalky soils. Oh, this is another heated debate. Should you pour straight in? That's what you would do if you're in France. The scientists would say angle, because then you'd lose less of the bubbles. So I think I'm going to follow the scientists' advice. I think it's widely accepted now. First one, chapel down. It's got a classic toasty, yeasty aroma. Maybe crackers, you know, like water biscuits. I like them. I like water biscuits. This is great. This is really elegant. It's quite a bright sort of crisp version. I think it might be more Chardonnay in this one. It's got a really long finish, those fine bubbles I was talking about. It's also got sort of honey flavours to it as well. It's got all the complexity that like you would have if you had a spoonful of honey in your mouth, but with citrus as well. That'd be nice with shellfish. Denbies Cubit Reserve. This one's different. This is 100% Pinot Noir, which is the red grape, but they don't have any skin contact, so there's no red pigment. It actually smells of black currants a little bit. Yeah, that's great. A bit of fruitiness, blackberries, black currants. Wow, this one's got so much complexity. Because it's 100% Pinot Noir, it's got a little bit less of that freshness. It smells like a blackberry bush. It smells like you're walking outside in the countryside and you've just stumbled across a little berry bush, which really highlights the sense of place. It tastes like English countryside. I like this one. Ridgeview. So I pass the Ridgeview estate quite a lot on my bike, but as I'm cycling, I can't drink and cycle, can I? I could, but it wouldn't be that good, would it? Oh, this one's weird. Weird in a nice way. It's a little bit barnyard, actually. It's a bit like farms and hay and grass and stuff. You know, when you've just mowed all the lawn and stuff and all the grass is sitting there. These two are a lot more yeasty than the Denbies. The Denbies has a lot more fruit and length. This one's going to be all three, so Chardonnay, Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier. But I think there's more Chardonnay in this one. A bit more fresh, more citrus. This one smells like it could be a nice balance of them all. Even just the smell of this one's quite interesting. I really like the sort of outdoorsy type smells that I'm getting from it. I don't want to say pig. The wine people call it barnyard, but it's yeasty, toasty, biscuits. So we've got a range that goes from the fresh and elegant through to the fruity and complex, down to the bready, toasty, yeasty, barnyard type one. These are as good as any champagne that you might find in your supermarket, so really worth trying them. This woman once told us that English wine's all about quality, quality, quality. And that's exactly what we've got here. Quality, quality, quality. A lot of effort's gone into these wines. I don't know which one to pick though, they're all good. Denbies is like autumn leaves. I know it's got that black currant and the berryness, but it just reminds me of having a walk with when all the leaves are on the ground and stuff. Has anyone got a laptop? I'm a bit chilly and I fancy putting the fire on. That's a Riddling rack. We know when I was talking about the bottle being tipped up, and I might have agitated this bottle. In the olden days, or even now in some producers, they have this rack where they have a team of guys who go along and they do this to turn the sediment into the neck. So why is English sparkling wine better than champagne? No. Why is it as good as champagne? Well, for one, it's cheaper. We've got the same geography here as we do in Champagne. We know it's 100 miles down the road, really. Bit of English Channel in there, but as the crow flies. Same chalk soils, classic English weather. We've got the hills, all the same conditions. We've got really skilled winemakers, got all the facilities here. So English sparkling wine can rival champagne, and it can sometimes be better. With these ones, because we're using the same Methode Champenoise, you're still going to get all the bready, toasty, biscuity notes that we would associate with champagne. And also, you can get vintages. We've got the 2009 vintage of Denbies here. If you were to get like a Bollinger 1995 or whatever, that's going to be really expensive. These are pretty reasonably priced. This year is going to be really good because it was nice and sunny, wasn't it? So this English Wine Week got something to celebrate, which is in England we're growing some pretty amazing wines. So get yourself down to the supermarket and buy some English wine instead of that Moet, and turn up at the party and have the only bottle that isn't Moet. So it's been a right celebration here at Denbies. Thanks to all the guys for letting me have free reign of the place. Next time I'll be back in my log cabin with my laptop fireplace. So there you have it, 3 excellent wines from English vineyards, as good as champagne, if not better.